Okay, guys, here we go. We're going to go ahead and talk about evolution. So we've watched some videos on evolution, got an idea what evolution is, where they talk about natural selection and so forth. But now we're going to go into the pieces of evidence and evaluate those pieces of evidence of evolution. So first of all, what is evolution? Evolution is a gradual change in a population over time. It happens to organisms. The key part here is in a population, and it has to be a gradual change over time. All right? What evolution isn't, as you can see here, it's not as time goes on, leaves fall off a tree during the fall, or there's erosion of a mountain. All right, that is not evolution. Evolution just states that there's a gradual change in the heritable traits that are passed on from generation to generation over an extended period of time. As you can see here, here shows kind of like a tree of life, a miniature tree of life, where you have one common ancestor, and within that common ancestor, over time, you have all these different branches that produce all this diversity here on Earth, okay? Which coincides with natural selection. Nature has selected certain traits from all these organisms, and they have been passed on from generation to generation in a population over time. So that's what evolution is. All right, and this is what evolution is not. It's not just change in organisms or change in features over an extended period of time. It's those changes that are passed on from generation to generation in a population over time. All right, we're going to go ahead and discuss the 4 pieces of evidence that show that evolution has occurred. We have the embryo development, anatomical and molecular homologies, including vestigial organs. We have biogeography and the fossil record. So let's go ahead and start off with embryo development. So what embryo development states is that in the early stages, all right, of many animals, especially here vertebrates with backbones, are very similar within the first few weeks. As you can see here, they almost look identical. Then as the cells start to differentiate and the cells start getting their jobs, as we've discussed earlier in the year, these organisms, their fetus, begin to change, and now you have this, all right? So groups of embryonic cells develop in the same order and similar patterns to produce the tissue and organs of these vertebrates. All right, that's the first piece of evidence. The next piece of evidence is anatomical homologies. All right, starting off with homologous structures. Homologous structures are a group of different organisms that show similar structures. So here you have an illustration showing a human hand, a cat, a whale, and a bat. They all have the same skeletal structure, all right, but they have different functions. We use our arms to grab things. Cats use them to walk, to pounce. Whales use them to swim, and bats use them to fly. But yet they all have the same skeletal structure, as you can see here. That's second piece of evidence, anatomical homologies. All right, then we also have vestigial organs, okay? Organs of animals that are reduced in size or no longer used. So for example, a whale still has hind legs, like a pelvis and a hip bone. This salamander here, since it doesn't use its legs, it still has its appendages right here. All right, but what it does is slithers along like a snake. Even in snakes, you would see these small little bones inside the snake. Wisdom teeth, no longer used. All right, our tailbone, or the coccyx, once again, no longer used, but it's still there. And the appendix. The appendix used to be a pouch where it was used to break down plant material. All right, so vestigial organs are still part of the anatomical homologies, okay? Then we also have molecular homologies, comparing DNA or protein sequences to the evolutionary relationships. This is what we've spoken about. All living things on Earth share the same letters, same 4 letters, which is GCAT, G-C-A-T, guanine, cytosine, adenine, and thymine. Not only do they share the same DNA letters, they also share the same RNA letters, and they also use the same 20 amino acids to make proteins. So those are just molecular homologies found in all living things that shows further proof that we're all related. Okay. And then we get into biogeography. Biogeography is the distribution of plants and animals on Earth. So what I wanted to show you here is, for example, these flightless birds. At one point, as you guys know, the Earth's landmass was all put together in a supercontinent called Pangaea. As Pangaea broke apart, these birds went along with it. So here you have an ostrich, which resembles a South American flightless bird called the rhea, which also these two resemble the emu, which is found in Australia, and also one, the popwow in New Guinea, and the kiwi in New Zealand. All these flightless birds because of what you see, had a common ancestor, and that common ancestor was found on the landmass, that supercontinent called Pangaea. The next one is where you have animals that are not closely related but have adapted to similar habitats. For example, you have the flying squirrel and the sugar glider. All right, the northern part of North America and this northern part of Australia, northeastern part of Australia, have the same type of environment, all right, and weather patterns. So these two animals, although they're not closely related, they have adapted, all right. They have the same adaptations found in continents away across an ocean. Okay, so that's biogeography. The next part is the fossil record. The fossil record shows, all right, there has been change on Earth, and it's been gradual through an extended period of time. All right. So here we have where we have some animals and they begin to appear, then there's no animals because something catastrophic might have happened, and then you see animals regrowing again. Okay, as you can see here, these sea creatures have changed over time. All right, that's also another piece of evidence, a fossil record. All right, then we'll finish it off with punctuated equilibrium and gradualism. Punctuated equilibrium shows that there has been change in animals, all right, but it always hasn't been stable. There's been some catastrophic things that have occurred that have caused some rapid change. So that's what this punctuated equilibrium here. So the way I look at it is like I put a period sign at each one to show that there was some massive change there, all right, over an extended period of time. In gradualism, it's in the name itself. Gradual means nice and easy and slow. So that's what's happened. There's been change over an extended period of time, and it's been gradual. It's been slow and steady. Okay. Next week we're going to go into cladograms and mechanisms of evolution. But just to sum it all up, just know that what evolution is and what it isn't. Evolution is a slow, gradual change in a population of organisms over time. All right. And as you know, we have all these different breeds of dogs, and that's through artificial selection. What's caused this change is nature. Nature has selected certain traits in a population to move on. All right, those are passed on from generation to generation. So it's a gradual change in a population of organisms over time with the process of natural selection. Just know what evolution is not. This is not evolution. Evolution just shows that we all had a common ancestor, and all these different branches of life have broken off due to these changes, all right, that have been passed on from generation to generation because of the environment we lived in. All right, so go ahead and you're going to keep your notes because you're going to use your notes for Monday's activity. Thank you.